Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, job is to get the base for the shed done after all the clearance last time. So it's a little bit windy, so hopefully you can hear me, but at least it's not raining. So let's crack on and get this next phase complete. In today's episode, I create a shed base with more waves than the ocean, predictably run out of materials, and also perform some sort of strange DIY dance. So it's not got any leveller since we were last here, and some of it, just using this bit of wood as a rough guide, is way out. You can see the gap down there. I'd say that's probably about 10 centimetres. Now it's not all that bad, because this bit here is much closer, so I think we'll be able to get this bit leveller more quickly. But obviously over here, it's all over the shop. So I think if we just move some of these stones, some of these bricks, and just various other bits and pieces that we got here, just to try and get a lower base, even before, or a more level base, even before we break the actual level out and really check it. So things are starting overall to look a little bit more level now, but there's actually some big holes. So let me just try and refill these with some of the stones and such that we've got left over, just so it's a bit like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle that isn't really supposed to go together, or never has. Let's just clear that out. There we go. Hopefully you will agree that that is looking much more level. Although not a perfect shed base in any way, shape or form, it's going to be absolutely fine for doing what we need to do. Which initially at least was to lay down the weed control fabric, which had a bit of a dual purpose, not just to control the weeds as you might expect, but also as well to exert some level of control over the gravel and to stop it going everywhere. And quite usefully too, it actually was provided in the base kit that we purchased. And that gravel is basically being used to level up this part of the garden, as it is on a slight slope, as well as fill in all of those surface imperfections from the ground underneath, which I believe in the past was some sort of patio. So the good news there is then that overall the base is actually fairly solid, but not that we're actually putting that much weight on this. It's not as if it's going to be used to, say for example, park a car. So we've got the majority of the gravel down now, so we've got a good, well, hopefully level. We'll check that properly with a level in a minute. But now it's actually time to do some test fitting on the actual base for the shed itself. So what I've actually bought here is a base system from ProBASE. Let me just put it on the ground. A couple of reasons that I've done that is, one, they've got these little feet on them, and this is supposed to give additional stability and strength so you don't have to infill them with gravel. This gravel here is just to get a better level for the ground. Also as well, they have these tabs which allow them to interlock together, and so far I have to admit they feel really well made. So let's just put a few of these together and see what it looks like. Looking back now at this footage as I'm editing it and how flexible the base is at this point, I can only apologise for what I'm going to say shortly. I have no excuse, although in my defence, perhaps at this stage I just had really low expectations. Really good and really solid, so pretty damn pleased with that. Let's just put the floor on top. I know we've not laid all of them down yet, but just to see what it's going to look like. So we're going to have a little bit of spare or overlap at the end. That's good. Both sides as well. Feels really good. Now at the moment it's not especially level, and actually you don't even need a level or a bit of wood to tell you that. You can see it by actually looking at it, and hopefully you can on the camera. So I think what we've got is there's a little bit of a hump just about 2/3 of the way down, and it seems to fall away this way slightly. Certainly you can see that on that end tile, that end bit of base over there, and also as well I think fall forward slightly, which isn't exactly surprising given the shape of the garden. Let me just show you what it looks like in this direction. It's not actually too far off. Let me lift that a little bit and up it comes. Let's just make some adjustments. Really starting to make some good progress now, and that is much closer to being level. And after a quick resupplying run and some further tweaks to get everything perfectly level, or actually just level enough, I was then going to be in a position to permanently install the base. So with that now basically level, we've got a few small issues. So hopefully you can see there, a few of these feet aren't actually touching the ground, which is no good, whereas the vast majority are. So I'm going to use some infill just to help there. Also as well with the edges, as you'd expect, with nothing to contain it, some of the gravel is just going to spill over. So we're going to fix that in another video, but let's just make sure the feet have all got something to sit on by just putting in a little bit of infill. So what's left for me to do now is to secure the grids together with the clips that actually come with it. Well, you can actually see them in here. And literally, all you need to do is that, and they're now secured together and going absolutely nowhere. Just remember, if you are doing an infill, to take these out first, but I didn't because I thought, well, if I take them off, I'll probably lose them. Plus, obviously, I'm not doing a full infill anyway. Now the odd ones of these don't seem that keen in going in, no matter how much you wiggle things around. So sometimes they just need that little bit of persuasion. So with the base now in place, all that's left to do is actually build the shed itself. I say all that's left to do. So thanks very much for joining me again. Please like, subscribe, comment and share. And I'll see you again soon with the completion of this and other videos back on the channel.